Loblaws is making a huge bet on Canada. They're announcing a massive $2.2 billion investment into the economy in 2025, with plans to open 80 new stores, upgrade 300 locations, and create 8,000 jobs nationwide. At a time when companies are pulling back, this investment really stands out, not just for its size, but for what it represents. But what does it really mean for you and I? Will grocery prices increase? Will, Loblaws' dominance increase? How is this investment going to stack up against competitors like Metro and Sobeys? And what's the long-term impact for jobs and the retail landscape? To break it all down, I'm joined by Bruce Winder, retail analyst and industry expert. Bruce, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me on the program.
Awesome. So how significant is this investment for Canada's retail sector?
This is really significant. I mean, it's a lot of money, right? It's $10 billion over 5 years. And it also creates 8,000 jobs, which is really good because it's tough right now. I mean, the unemployment has been sort of ticking up a little bit over the last little while. And probably the most important thing is they're launching one of the big plans with this CapEx, capital investment expansion program, is they're launching 50 new, what they call hard discount stores, which are like no frills. And what that does is it helps Canadians as they're struggling with food prices to have a cheaper option.
Which is great, absolutely. In fact, I've noticed they opened up a new No Frills around the corner from my house, and the Facebook groups went crazy, actually, once the new No Frills came on board. People were very excited about it because grocery prices are so expensive. So, why do you think Loblaw is making such an aggressive move now?
I think they're trying to they realize that Canada's demographics have changed, our economics have changed, and they probably realize their future lies with a bit more of a mix, so to speak, a sales mix with hard discount. I mean, the other thing, too, as part of this, which is interesting, is they're adding 100 new pharmacy care stores in Shoppers Drug Mart. And that you can definitely see. I mean, if you just have to look at our healthcare system, right, and the shape of our healthcare system. And that's probably more the future of healthcare is select services are going to be offered by pharmacists instead of doctors, right, because of the doctor shortage and the wait time. So that's another part, too, that could be helpful for Canadians.
Absolutely. Do you think it's going to help lower prices for us, though?
Well, I think overall, I mean, if you look at the prices in No Frills, they're lower than the prices in the full-line Loblaw stores because there's less services, right? There's no, deli counter and the amenities are lower, right? And they're actually flirting with a test concept called No Name, which is even cheaper than No Frills, where they take out a whole bunch of amenities and make it cheaper. So I think it offers a value option. They call it hard discount, but a value option for consumers as they're struggling.
So do you think that this is going to reshape the grocery competition in Canada? How does it put pressure on competitors like Metro and Sobeys? Does it primarily target Walmart?
I think it puts pressure on a number of competitors, which is good for the market. We need good competition, right? And it probably does so in markets where previously there might have been only one store. So you might have had a market where there's just a Metro. Well, now, you might have a Metro and a No Frills, right? So you have options now. That's the key, is creating more competition in markets that might be underserved, whether it's downtown locations or other locations. And I think that's what Canada needs a bit more competition locally on a market-by-market basis.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely need more competition. Do you think, is Loblaws making a strong statement about supporting Canadian-made products and suppliers? Do you think that other major Canadian companies will follow suit with similar large-scale investments? And what impact do you think this is going to have on our economy?
Yeah, hard to tell if the other grocers, how they're going to play it out. I mean, I know that there's definitely advantage for the Canadian grocers out there. So, if you look at Walmart and Costco, they're not Canadian, right? They're American companies. So I think you're going to see a bit of a movement toward the big three Canadian grocers. I know that Loblaws at least has come out and said they're trying to buy more Canadian. They're doing a major intentional shift toward Canadian products to try to keep prices lower. They also said that, this is interesting, but that if the tariffs come into place and American products get more expensive, this will make a lot of the private label or store brand products they have, like No Name or President's Choice, cheaper versus the new American pricing that we'd have to pay. So you could see Canadians buy more private label or store brands, which has already been a trend since the pandemic.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I know it's not Loblaws that I'm shopping at right now. I'm at shopping at Farm Boy, but they've got signs very clearly labeled in the fruit and veggie section, product of Mexico, product of USA. And I've been shocked by how much of my produce comes from Mexico. I had no idea until now I started paying attention. Do you think that Canadians now are just paying that much more attention to where their food's coming from?
Yeah, I think we are. I think President Trump has sort of poked the bear, so to speak, and maybe it's a polar bear, but we're sort of waking up and looking at our food now. And yeah, it's caused us to sort of look at the country of origin, which is quite interesting. And a lot of produce does come from America and from South America, which is interesting.
Absolutely. And I think now most of my groceries are coming from Mexico or South America. I'm certainly not selecting the U.S. quality stuff. Let's switch gears a little bit to the fulfillment center that was also announced. So they said there was going to be a new $1.2 million square foot automated fulfillment center in East Gwillimbury, and it's supposed to be one of the largest in North America. What role do you see automation playing in the future of grocery retail? And could this ultimately lead to job losses despite the 8,000 jobs being created from this?
Yeah, automation is something that is working its way through retail, mostly right now, to your point, in the distribution system. So, if you look at Metro, they launched an automated warehouse a few years back. In the U.S., a number of grocers have done that. So it's pretty part and parcel now with retail is having some form of automation, which is good because it keeps prices low, right? You can have greater throughput and productivity with these assets. I think it's just a shifting of jobs. I think that the reality is that in Canada and around the world, more of the jobs that are manual labor, like at a warehouse, are going to be automated over time. It's just the new normal. And hopefully, you'll see those jobs in retail stores instead, or in technology or AI and things like that. But this is just something, it's one of those ebb and flows of the labor market, where the labor market just changes a bit and moves from one area to another.
Wonderful. Bruce, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. Have a great day. Take care.
Perfect. Thanks, you too. That was Bruce Winder. He's a retail analyst, author, and advisor, all about the new increases in investment that Loblaws plans on making in Canada.